for badass. Like, he doesn't kill Carl because Carl's a little badass. He doesn't kill Rosita because Rosita is a badass. I don't know.
It's kind of, well, I mean, I think he also really likes, that's the other kind of low-key thing, is I think he really likes Rosita.
Like
looks
wise?
Everything.
Okay. That she's a badass and that she's hot. And that...
Like, I think he would probably find it pretty interesting and rewarding to break a person like that.
Oh, kind of like Daryl.
And put him in. Well, yeah, but only like, you know, like a Daryl you can fuck. Like, you know, to bring him into his fold of quote-unquote wives.
Right.
You know, like...
Yeah, and good luck with that.
So I'm trying to figure out Negan, because maybe an accurate way to read Negan is that he's just bored. Like, he's run roughshod over this world and has won for so long. He's kind of like Conan at the end of The Barbarian. He's sitting on the throne and he just looks bored and like, you know, why the fuck did I do all this conquering? And now, and Rick's group, like, even though it's a huge threat, it's also rekindled his love of victory again. So like I think on some level it's like why doesn't the Joker kill the Batman? Because then what he do?
It'd ruin his fun.
Yeah. So that's you know, you got to go to Joker logic, but that kind of makes a little bit of sense.
Maybe. I mean, he seems like he's a bit insane. I want to bring up one thing about this whole scene here.
Okay.
That I found confusing, or maybe not confusing, but I'm just looking for a solid answer to. So at the beginning of the scene, they're out playing pool, right? And you can see
Drew Carey style.
Oh, did he have a pool table in his
backyard?
backyard?
Yeah, in his backyard,
right?
Which seems like it would go to in
it
Cleveland.
Would be ruined immediately.
In Cleveland, one Midwest winter would fuck that table up unless it's made.
Absolutely.
Yeah, unless it was made out of like pure marble or something.
It's fiberglass top.
Can you imagine how hard those edges would be?
Oh
man, you bank off a pure marble with like, oh man.
Yeah, you'd chip.
You chip balls all the time. Yeah.
Anyway, so they're outside playing pool, and you can see the Alexandrians kind of wandering up to the pool table, and I couldn't tell. I don't know why so many of them would just wander up to this pool table where this madman is playing pool.
I think they were summoned.
Right. So if they were summoned, that tells me that he was planning something with Spencer all along.
Yeah.
And that it wasn't really I took your guts out because you're coming at the leader of your community and you're a coward. It was more like, I'm going to kill this guy because I can see that he's duplicitous.
Yeah, see, I think he smoked out the intention of this trip way
immediately.
Before. Right.
Pretty much, yeah.
Right.
I think you're right, yeah.
I mean, they didn't show that, and I'm fine with it because I think it works. Because otherwise, it's just dumb. They just all kind of like, oh, the pool in the street, that's kind of cool.
Right. But you want to be anywhere near this guy right now?
Yeah.
No thanks.
I want to see that Negan. If he say what you will, he strokes a mean cue ball.
Right.
You know, like they're trying. They want to see
the Black Widow of the Alexandria community of the apocalypse.
Exactly. So Rick comes up all pissed, and Negan is delighted to see him. He's like, Rick, and I think this is a Jeffrey Dean Morgan. What do you call that? An ad lib?
I think so. Yeah.
Because I've heard Rick Andrew Lincoln say that you get like you do so much screaming that you tear your voice out in like the height of doing Walking Dead, and like that he and John Bernthal, like when John was off, and like he would call him from the set of Wolf of Wall Street, and you know he'd be like, oh, sounds like you had one of those days when Andrew could barely speak. And this was like, you know, his voice is cracked because he had ripped it up and doing these scenes, and he just quipped that your people got me screaming so much I've lost my voice.
Loved it.
And Rick comes accusing, so I thought we had a deal. It's like, look, your kid hid in one of my trucks and machine gunned a bunch of my dudes.
It's fair.
And I brought him back home and made him spaghetti. And Rick's face is just priceless. He can't fucking believe it. Another one of your people wanted me to kill you and hit him in charge, and I took him out. And then someone shot Lucille, and I killed one of your biggest mouths that you had to feed. So Rick then says, look, your shit's at the gate, just go. And Negan essentially says, I ain't leaving without finding who made this bullet. And Arat threatens Eric, Aaron's boyfriend. Then Tara steps forward to confess, and Eugene quickly takes it on his shoulders. Negan believes him, asks Lucille for strength. I think this is to not kill anyone.
Yeah.
because I think he really wanted to. He really wanted to follow your advice.
Mm-hmm.
And then he says he's taking Eugene and threatens Rick that he's way in the hole as far as collections because of this stunt. Tells him his kitchen's a goddamn mess, and then takes off. And Rosita's kind of begging him to not take Eugene, to take her, and said, but look, you fucked up, Rosita.
Yeah.
Eugene said there's a price to be paid, and you won't be the one paying it, and you wanted your fucking bullet. So there you go.
Right. And I love this moment because, it's not just that someone else is paying the cost, but it's the very person who told her there would be cost for other people to pay.
Right.
And it has never stung more for Rosita right now.
Right. Because,
which is awesome.
Eugene's right.
Eugene is right.
And if he gets out of the situation, he's going to be insufferable. That's true. That's the real problem here. So then, Andrew Lincoln's given Rick one of his patented Rick is shattered faces when fucking Spencer rises from the dead.
Yeah, I forgot this was going to happen. And it was such a nice surprise.
And Rick kind of looked like, this is just what I needed. This is just the thing that I needed. We cut the commercial, and then we come back, and Rick is in prison. The prison that Morgan was building.
Prison of his own making.
He is. Has no bars, but he's still in it. And he's kneeling in front of the "You Lose" sign and the hatchet. Now, last night when I was watching it, I thought that you remember last season, that before they went on the ill-fated raid on the Savior complex, that Eugene entrusted Rick with like schematics for building bullets?
Yeah.
I thought that's what he was looking at. And I'm like, oh, that's interesting, that he's literally pondering like the choice between, and thinking out tactics and whatever. The fact that he's meditating before the hatchet and the "fuck you, you lose," like, I don't know what they're going for with the symbolism.
Well, if I were to guess, I would say maybe it is
Rick's tired of losing. He wants to pick the hatchet.
Well, if he gets his way here, and the community just kind of tolerates the existence they have under Negan, maybe that is in itself a form of losing for the community.
Yeah.
And so he's trying to figure out, should he stay the course that he's set, or should he pick up the hatchet? Should he, kind of do what everybody in this community wants him to do and fight back?
Right. But then also maybe the fact is he's looking, it's like, I just got a hatchet. What is that going to do? Mm-hmm. Negan's giving me the middle finger, and I got a hatchet. What am I going to do? Michonne finds him there and says, I found my way. I want it to be our way. And I found that there's more of them than we thought, and it's like numbers is not even close. So I know we can't really do anything now, but it doesn't change how I feel that we have to fight for Judith and Carl and for Alexander and the Hilltop and for everyone. Mm-hmm. And Rick says, I know that now. And next we see Maggie up on the wall.
There's a great speech from Michonne.
It really was. No, this scene was pretty great. It wasn't the whole like you don't know what it is out there and we got to make tough.
Right.
Like I wish I know more about what Michonne was thinking and doing when she tried this whole thing, but even in it, because it would land even more. But even without that knowledge, I still felt it landed pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, Maggie spots Rick and company coming up, and he asks her if she's okay, and she says that yes, I and the baby are okay, and Rick says he's ready to fight, and Daryl and Jesus are there too, and Rick and Daryl hug, and then they start making out, and then Daryl slips Rick his python, and then they tenderly make love. Sasha and Rosita have a bit of a moment. Carl and Enid have a bit of a moment. Mm-hmm. Tara and Jesus randomly have a bit of a moment because why not? They were feeling left out.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that...
As long as nobody hugs Rosita, god damn it.
I thought it'd be so funny if Tara and Jesus have this like, well, there's nobody else for us. They don't know each other's gay, and they decide like, we're just going to try to make this work, and then they find out they're both gay. It's like a gift of the Magi situation.
Okay.
Like, Tara knows she's gay, but you know what? I'm going to try to make with Jesus. Because we're the only ones here to have a moment with, and Jesus is like, I know I'm gay, but I'm going to make with this straight woman.
So
just
what's the end
to have
game
human,
on that?
I'm just saying the reveal that like they're both gay, and then they all laugh and I don't know, brush each other's hair, whatever.
Sure.
I mean, Jesus got the like I brushed Jesus' hair.
Yeah, he's got the hair
I'd
for
groom
it.
his beard.
I like this moment a lot. I think this is like a really
It got me
a hopeful and positive way to end what has been a pretty damaging half season.
And I'm joking because some of this stuff was a little silly, but Daryl giving Rick his 357 back had a lot of like Gandalf giving Theoden his sword in Lord of the Rings after he'd turned into a shriveled old man. Like,
I don't remember.
God, you saw fucking Lord of the
I
Rings.
saw it.
Don't leave me hanging. This isn't even fucking Harry Potter.
I
know you saw these movies.
I didn't
damn
care
it,
enough,
Jim.
and also I don't know who you're talking about.
Everyone else on the planet got it, so that's what's going to be important to me.
Yes, definitely.
Anyway,
Yeah, it is.
I thought no, it was good, and I I'm a sucker for Carl and Enid, and I thought like they're, I don't know, Carl's a little bit smug for how they left things, but whatever, it's young love, and Rick and Daryl getting back together is kind of like the beating heart of this show,
right?
And
Rick's now the leader again, right?
Yeah,
I mean, in all of these people's
he's got
eyes,
his right hand man back.
Yeah, giving him that gun was the symbol that says he's our leader again.
And they set this thing up like Rick, when Negan is kneeling down in front in Rick's face and saying, "I didn't just kill your right hand man, did I?" Well, no, he didn't. He just amputated it and took it back to the Savior compound, and now he's reunited, and like all this stuff is coming together, and they have this kind of heroic walking off into the camera that I'm a big fucking sucker, and I'm probably going to be let down, but I got pretty excited for next season.
Yeah, it's exciting.
And I still like if I look back and I think like, man, what if they didn't do that Terra bullshit, or what if like this season. It wouldn't have been great, but it would have been a lot more. It would have been a lot more engaging had they taken this kingdom stuff and just woven it through the rest of the plot.
Right.
And I can't see how anyone can look at these episodes where they've managed to successfully see all this table being set and all these things coming into collision and how relatively exciting it was versus the complete little momentum killer of the Terra episode and try to do this shit again. Like,
but
I
they
hope.
will. They will.
As you said, this is a damaging season, and I hope that they, if to the extent that the creative can tell even the most basic story, I hope that they can use this to kind of like beat down the suits and say like, look, we lost like a third of our audience in a single season, and if we don't fucking turn up the heat a little bit, it's gonna keep being like this. And then who the fuck is gonna buy your Surfaces and your fucking Hyundais and go see your goddamn movies and all that shit?
Yeah.
So, I don't know. We have an after-credit sequence.
Oh, right. Yes.
All is quiet on the Eastern Alexandria front. Father Gabriel is standing lookout, which, what the hell? Like, I like you, but I don't know if he's the one who should be standing night watch.
Yeah.
And Booty McBootface shows up with their oozing muddy boots. Oh, my God. You know what this means, Jim?
What does it mean?
I don't know. I was hoping you would tell me because I fucking have no idea who this is supposed to be or represent.
It means whoever was at that boat complex, the nested boat society, has come up to the gates.
I just have a question. Why should I care? Well, I mean, maybe...
I don't know yet.
Maybe this is something to get the comic book people worked up because...
Oh, maybe.
To me, this is like a less exciting tease than the Wolves. And the Wolves ended up being kind of a minor fizzle themselves. They were just were just filler material to delay the coming of Negan. What the hell is this boot person going to be that's going to really mix things up as far as...
I don't know. I mean, I guess there's... So this is a cliffhanger that I'm cool with, right? Because it doesn't actually have much to do with anything that we've seen.
Right.
It's not like...
It's a tease for things to come.
Yeah, which is fine by me. I'm interested to see what the speculation is, over the next 3 months or whatever until Walking Dead comes back.
Right.
Because I think there's going to be a lot of it.
Right. Well, I have a little bit of stuff I want to say about this in kind of the spoiler section, if we have a spoiler section for this week. But that's really all I have to say about the episode. Like most seasons, this had about 2 to 3 episodes of fat that could have been safely excised, and then the remaining stories woven together in a much more interesting fashion. And you would have had, if you did that, you would have had 8 regular length episodes that were pretty taut and interesting.
Right.
So can we learn this lesson? That's the big question going into season 7.5.
We'll see.
Before we get to feedback, once again, like to advertise the Club Bald Move. If you don't like advertising in your podcast, you can join up and make it go away. If you like to hear us talk and think, hey, I wonder what these guys would sound like talking about a bunch of other random stuff, we got you covered because we got bonus content. Right now we're doing the Badass Bald Move Christmas, where we're doing live watches and special podcasts on Christmas-themed badass movies such as Rocky IV and Die Hard. This week is Jingle All the Way, the great Jake Lloyd Schwarzenegger contribution. Best, you can go to support.baldmove.com, join the club risk-free for 30 days, and get access to all the content for free. And if you don't like it, cancel, and you can siphon all of our content and get away scot-free. Nothing we can do to stop you. We'll just be like, oh, it'll be like Negan. I want to bash your brains out, but for some mysterious reason, I can't do it. I'm too damn hoarse, and my bat's too damn shot, and it's just not going to happen. So, yeah, it's risk-free. Try it. Support.baldmove.com. We do need your support. We're independent podcasters. We derive near all of our income through listener support. So if you do value the work we do here on The Walking Dead or on Westworld or Game of Thrones or Leftovers or Better Call Saul or anything that's coming up here in the late winter, spring, please help us at support.baldmove.com. Thanks.
All right, let's get into the feedback. We start off with Kelly T, who has some clarifications on the radios that we saw last episode.
Okay.
Like there was one kind of poking out of Michonne's bag on the ground.
And then Rick was looking at the one, yeah.
Yeah, she says, I'm pretty sure they were just trying to show the tension between Rick and Michonne about signing up for the Negan Mattress of the Month Club. Essentially, like, the argument they were having in this episode is kind of shown because they both seem to ponder using the radios, but both decide not to.
I see.
They are each doing something the other would not approve of, Rick foraging for Negan, Michonne going after Negan, and this prompts them to opt out of checking in with each other.
This is the post-apocalyptic version of the rom-com trope where they're having an out and they're both looking at their cell phones, seeing if anyone called, but they're too proud to pick up the phone and call. Yeah, okay.
Right.
All right, yeah.
Pretty much. Patience B writes in with some comments on bamboo. Bamboo in the south.
All right.
Southeast. Bamboo seems to be everywhere on the East Coast. You see it take over areas along highways and random neighborhoods all over.
No shit.
I can't speak for every state, but I have witnessed it in Pennsylvania, Maryland, D.C., and Virginia, which makes me assume it is easily thriving in most eastern states. My neighbor planted some in his yard, and now the entire neighborhood is constantly chopping and poisoning it and trying to keep it from taking over their yards.
Jesus Christ.
Don't get me wrong, it's very useful to a point for certain things, but it's an incredibly resistant and strong runner with roots that, if blocked, will grow over flagstones and pavement until it finds earth to penetrate.
Wow, I feel like between kudzu and bamboo, we've lost the South through vegetation.
Yeah, we're going to have to come up with some serious chemicals to deal with it. She says, I love seeing that bamboo jungle because that is actually becoming a thing around here. And I often joke that we will need to start importing pandas to release into the wild to go with the bamboo forests.
Yeah, it's funny. China's working on destroying their bamboo environment, and we're bring all your pandas over here.
It's just migrating.
Yeah.
Ralph from Brooklyn says, the more I think about the episode, the more questions I have. I'm guessing Michonne was on her way to find the Saviors and wasn't going to tell Rick. If that's what she was planning, then she is really, really, really fortunate to have run into someone, some unidentified lone woman on the road with a car who also happened to be a member of Negan's gang.
And who's also suicidal, so she wanted to neatly tie her own plots up. Yeah.
Right. Unless this lone woman has Dwight-level trust from Negan, why would she be out all by herself, given how many people are available to go with her? Sending a team is not only safer, but it keeps possible deserters in check. I feel like the writers just didn't want Michonne to figure out how to find Negan, so they just sent her a driver.
Yep.
Yeah. It was very confusing to me as well. Sean H. says, you guys have been talking about how there are Walking Dead fans that don't listen to podcasts or view Reddit. I work at a hospital here in Houston, and every Monday morning on a nurses unit, about 12 nurses and doctors come together at the beginning of the shift to talk about Sunday night's episode of The Walking Dead. I am the only one of this group that reads Reddit and listens to podcasts. Not a single one of these nurses or anyone else in that group complain about The Walking Dead the way people on Reddit, your listeners, or you do. They just talk about the stuff that happened on the show and why certain decisions were made and what they want to happen, like other casual television fans would do. They love the show. I take them as a group that represents the remaining 10 million people that keep up with and watch the show.
So, they're not idiots. I mean, we're talking about nurses and doctors here, so...
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't say anything negative about them. Just
right.
they don't have the same complaints. The people who really dig into this stuff too.
Yeah, I want to say it's not the show's fault that we take it more serious than it does, but it kind of was because and also AMC continually positions itself as a serious drama. So I don't know. I mean, this is the only show of its caliber that I routinely watch.
Okay. Yeah, I
like
agree.
anything that's like that makes less sense than this is usually a comedy. So
Oh, well, I watch worse stuff than this.
like I've been watching C-Lab 2021 because that's one of the things I missed out back in the day.
Sure.
Fucking hilarious, and it's stupid as the day is long, but that's the point.
Right.
Like sometimes I feel like this Walking Dead, like Rick tries to outdo the commander on C-Lab on occasion, and just like that. What?
Yeah, he needs to be on Adult Swim or something because that's where it works.
Like maybe 20 years from now they'll make like a C-Lab version of The Walking Dead.
Okay.
Like you
That'd
could
be
like
good. Yeah.
I mean if they continue to be able to do like this Photoshop for audio, and they continue to be able to do digital things with people's faces, like imagine how much stock footage The Walking Dead is assembled where you could just tell these crazy ass stories and make up your own dialogue and yeah, that I don't know, maybe that's something we got to look forward to in our old age.
I'm ready for it. Brett from Honolulu says, I was in Norway this past June at the Alesund Aquarium with my wife waiting for a penguin show. I don't... Okay. The lady in front of me...
Is that like a donkey show in Tijuana?
I think so.
Like a woman comes
Norwegian
in and
penguin
just gets ravaged by emperor penguins.
We need to shut that shit down. Like from a worldwide abuse perspective.
The penguin
Norwegian
shows?
penguin shows need to go.
Yeah, no, they're infamous.
They are. You know what else is infamous? The lady in front of me who pulled out a 2-foot cucumber, took a few bites, passed it to her small child who appeared to be 3 to 4 years old. I remember thinking, no way in hell. And the kid chomped down without hesitation, devouring the rest. I looked at my wife, and we both lost it with uncontrollable laughter. So yes, there are monsters in the world who eat raw cucumbers whole, the saviors and the Norwegians.
It's so funny, like people's dietary things, because like you hear about
man.
people eating French fries with mayonnaise, and it's like, oh my god, it's so
Right.
gross. And then now we got the cucumber munchers, and then but then I remember like several Australians saying how repulsive they found my description of biscuits and gravy.
Really?
And I'm like, I guess that makes sense because biscuits and gravy is just essentially grease-soaked flour that you mix with water, and then you pour
true.
over poorly baked, shitty bread. So
Which is just
that's just
flour
garbage
and butter.
food. That's just garbage food. That's what garbage people would eat. So I mean,
Oh, but it's delicious.
yeah, that's the thing.
And I don't have a problem with cucumbers.
I don't-
It's just
I like
the way you
cucumbers.
eat cucumber. Like if you, let's say, if you had biscuits and
You're
gravy,
just gonna
and you
pull
said,
out a room temperature 2-foot-long cucumber and start eating it.
it's weird.
It is weird.
If you had biscuits and gravy, and you said like, "Oh, hand me those biscuits," and gravy, and like literally put them into your hands and started eating
Yeah, or
them
like
apples.
if you saw in America,
That would be
you're
weird.
you're at a dolphin show, which is another thing that needs to be shut down.
Yep.
And someone just got out like a Ziploc bag full of biscuits and gravy, and starts, you would be
Yeah.
like, "That's fucking weird." Like, there's a way to eat that that's acceptable. Maybe it's not my cup of tea, but
Or they took the bag and they like mashed it all up into like a slurry, and then just started piping it into
Yeah,
their mouth.
yeah.
That'd be disgusting.
yeah, no, I just you Norwegians and your cucumber eating.
He says, FYI, I love Norway and have nothing bad to say about the Norwegian people.
They do
So,
seem like they have their shit together. Maybe
Right.
maybe we should all eat cucumbers by the foot.
I'm willing to try it. Whenever I do my mukbang video, it's going to be all
It's all going to be cucumbers.
raw temperature, raw room
You can
temperature
set the record for
cucumbers.
linear feet of cucumbers eaten in a single mukbang. Like
That's
you
my
roll
goal.
out 7 3-footers. I'm going to go for 21 feet today. 21 feet of cucumber.
Oh, what would that do to my stomach?
I don't, because
At
that's
some
the thing.
point,
Like
it's-
cucumbers have almost zero nutritional value. They're essentially like water, and that's it.
You think you hit the LD50 of water before you like? How many feet of cucumber would it take?
I don't know. Maybe 21 foot would do it. I encourage
Maybe.
you to try it. No.
Oh, all right. So Kevin writes in and says, "Dudes, can they make Maggie look any less pregnant? She's thin as a rail. How fucking long ago are we supposed to think she got pregnant?"
Yeah.
And the answer is, I don't know. I really don't know. I feel like there is an answer to that question, but I don't remember when they last banged, and B,
Right.
I couldn't tell you how much time has passed, even if I remembered it.
Right. I mean, it's you. I've seen women not show for like the first going into second trimester
for a very long time.
Right. But now I feel like it's like less common for really thin women for MAG because like you'll start to notice the bulge earlier than that. But
right.
I don't know, man. I just looked it up. A cup of cucumbers has 16 calories.
Wow.
A cup.
That's a pretty good snack.
Yeah.
It'll fill you up, but it won't.
Yeah.
Won't make you.
Ooh. There's a quantity. You can actually define the quantity as 1 cucumber, and it specifies an 8 1/4 inch cucumber, 47 calories.
Wait, but what's the girth? What are we talking?
Well,
Circumference?
It's 301 grams. You'd have to do math, and I'm not going to do that. But an average. So that woman packing like with the 2-foot cucumber is like not even getting 100 calories.
Well, her kid.
You're just bored of me. You're just grazing. That's just grazing.
Right. Yeah, that's a great snack. All right, Dan from Phil. Just chop it up.
I bet it's calorically negative because your body spends more calories digesting it than you actually get out of the cucumber itself.
Maybe so. In that case, bad apocalypse food. Can I say?
That's why the Norwegians are so fit. Famous for being fit.
Dan from Philly says the same old story mid-season finale, and while the episode is perfectly serviceable, maybe even good, it's also 6 weeks too late. From the Daryl and Jesus road trip, how did they get out of the gates? Oh, yeah, who cares, right?
They fired up that loud-ass motorcycle, just right out the front gates.
No one could hear him. The music was too loud. They hate music. To yet another member of the group taken hostage after a poor decision by someone else. Negan's ballistic expertise, the prerequisite killing of peripheral characters. You can just see the writers checking off the boxes. Has there ever been a series just so goddamn predictable? I can't help but think the creators are so bankrupt of ideas that AMC will just run this money train till it dies and quality be damned. Well, I mean, I don't know if you're right, I don't know if you're wrong, but that's certainly an opinion. And one that we have pondered ourselves.
Sure.
Aaron S. says, The Walking Dead did what they do best, roping me into watching the second half of the season just wasn't when I was ready to jump off the Walking Dead bandwagon. Man, I can't speak today. I definitely understand how Aaron felt at the end of the live watch. Very torn and oddly optimistic after this crap show of a season. I hope it lives up to the expectations they set, but deep down, I know I'll be disappointed until the finale. We always bash the writers and producers of this show for lack of talent, but it has to be talent keeping people roped into this show for this long, right? I mean that is if your talent is manipulating the public, sure. Is it enjoyable to participate in, though?
That's what it's like. It's one of those things where, it's easier to actually work than it is to appear busy at a job. Like, right. I'd much rather be busy than trying to act busy. At some level, isn't it just creating an entertaining television show with this much talent around it easier than fucking with people?
You would think so.
Like,
I mean, if that's what you enjoy, though.
But you got
fucking with people.
How many nurses and doctors are you going to argue with? Like, maybe people like this precisely because it doesn't challenge them,
Maybe.
I don't know. That's my depressing thought of the day.
Caitlin T says, classic Walking Dead logic equals, we hid Maggie in a closet and risked our lives to make sure the Saviors thought she was dead. So before we put her on a fence duty and make sure her face is the first thing anyone sees when driving up, give her a hat? No one will know.
That's what we were joking on the live watch last night. Every single time she was looking over, we joked that like Negan was there. Hey, Maggie, I remember you.
Right.
Yeah, hot girl's supposed to be dead. Time to bash some people's brains in now. It's like, for fucking real?
Yeah.
You're going to be on fence. You're going to be on front gate duty when you are supposed to be hiding out in this community.
And I just can't.
For the protection of Alexandria and the Hilltop, because they'll both get reprisals.
And I thought you were child and yourself. Like
I thought your plot was that you were guilty because everyone died because of you. Because that's why. I mean, like, what the fuck? What the fuck?
Yeah, and the idea that they don't, like, the Saviors don't have scouts out there just keeping watch over these civilizations.
If I was Negan, locations. I would have some kind of fucking sympathizer on the inside of every one of these communities just hanging out.
Yeah. Or at the very least, people outside the gates watching.
Yeah, like a garrison. Like there's a couple of Saviors just keeping an eye on.
They have the people. They have the men.
That seems dumb that there's not like a barracks of Saviors in every fucking community. Like you go in and we're going to take a few of you hostage and then we're going to leave a few of us behind.
Right.
So if there's any kind of skullduggery,
we'll know about it.
Exactly. Or if these guys all show up dead, then we're also going to know. Like, I mean, man, that's kind of a big deal.
He's just not a very good strategist, I guess.
Maybe that's the plot that, like, you know, that like Negan's not really that smart.
Well, I mean, our community in Alexandria is going to have to be able to outsmart him. But if he doesn't
and we know they're not that smart.
Well, that's true. But if he doesn't feel like he's capable and intelligent and a formidable adversary, then why is that interesting?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I will say that I do feel like he does feel that way. But when you stop and think about it, it's like, huh.
He could feel definitely more that way.
Right. But on the other hand, I don't know if they actually did garrison these places, it's just game over.
Seems like
you can make a situation too airtight where it's like, okay, once you got Rick's bullets and all of his guns and all of his best people, and there's 6 of the Neganite enforcers, like, what are you going to do?
I don't know. The cracks are much smaller.
I mean, I think there's an interesting that I could see a season of like this underground resistance type of fighting. You know, like that's the thing. Like I was saying when they were like, oh, what are we going to do? I'm like, crack a history book. Like, look up the French Resistance. There's all kinds of things you can fucking do.
Yeah,
you know?
Sure.
And that stuff is pretty interesting. There's been many movies and television shows made about it.
I bet there's a Who's the Boss episode about
Probably. You know, go watch some old Hogan Heroes. See
there
how
you
can
go.
effectively fight a resistance against a fascist regime.
I know there are MacGyver episodes about it.
Of course. You got to build. You take that bamboo that's rampant and build a whole air force of ultralights.
Yep.
Then what are you going to do, Negan?
Yep.
Just drop rocks on them, Ewok style.
All right. Nathan E. says a couple of things here. One, I like that our group has their fighting spirit back, but I'm left curious as to why Rick feels differently now. The deaths of Glenn and Abraham left him utterly defeated, but the deaths of Spencer and Olivia and a pep talk from Michonne are what put him in full-on revenge mode. Yeah, I mean, we kind of talked about this.
I do think that he, like...
The scales have been tipping, and now they've tipped to the point where it makes sense.
Well, right. Like, we had a deal. Like, you brutalized us to prove your point. I got behind that point, and I got all my people on the same page. But now Rick's appreciating that either he can't, you know, that the indomitable human spirit of Alexandria was going to eventually get them in trouble, or...
This is Lando with Darth Vader.
Yeah, this deal keeps getting worse every time.
Yeah.
So eventually you got to tell Lobot to go take the stormtroopers and lock him in the Northern Tower and keep it quiet.
Right. And number 2, Deanna's dying wish was for Rick to watch over Spencer and help him grow as a man, which amounted to fuck all. Rick has a terrible track record of trying to help other people's children survive, but I'm glad they nipped this storyline in the bud. Otherwise, Spencer would have had the same plot line as the kid who shot Carl in the face. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I could see that. Though there is a part of me that would have liked to see Spencer live on, get proficient with that compound Bowie found, and in some small way, we'd still have a remnant of Deanna in the community.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing that we didn't really comment on. Everyone in that family is dead now.
Yeah.
There are no more of the
No more the Monroes. The Monroes are gone.
Yes.
Reg, Aiden, Deanna.
It's unfortunate.
And now Spencer.
There was at least one of them I liked.
Yep.
You can
and I bet
debate
none of
who.
them. I bet none of them are going to be on the Wall of Fame.
No. None of them get their name up there. Topher T says, there have been 2 assassination attempts on Negan, and by the time they get back to the power plant, they will find out that Daryl has killed another savior and escaped. I'm not sure if Michonne killed that woman or not. If she did, well, she did. It would most likely raise suspicion at the very least. This from a group that wiped out one of the Savior's outposts last season. I have to ask, what did the previous group of Saviors... what did the previous group the Saviors killed last season have to do to get slaughtered? Right? I mean, they all tried to kill him? Like, an organized effort?
That was the library, right? The library compound?
I think that was Oceanside is what they were talking about.
Oh, and then so that was the library group because they used to be holed up in a library, remember?
Is that what they said?
I thought so.
Okay.
They showed them but that's a good question, and maybe you're supposed to...
I think they said that, like, all of them tried to go kill Negan or slaughtered a bunch of their people, but
they were clearly put. I mean, now I see this as like they were pushed into it, because if you try to do everything right by the Negan's, by the Savior's lights, you're still going to get fucked. And that's the thing. Like,
yeah,
you know, I don't know. Like totalitarian regimes work on the threat of fear and judicious use of force. Like everyone should be paranoid and afraid all the time,
right?
But you shouldn't be like just randomly killing people, or else it makes it that much easier to resist because you got nothing to lose.
And you have to give them rules to follow if you want.
Yeah.
If you want compliance,
right?
So when there are no rules and they don't know how to comply and they can't comply, well, they're only left with one option. That's to rebel.
Right. I mean, it's one thing if you want to get them all in a fucking concentration camp. But if you actually want them out autonomously providing for you,
right?
You got to have some rules, and you got to live by them as well.
Nathan E. says, if you were Maggie, would you be skeptical of eating that apple pie after seeing the one guy in town who doesn't like you fiddling with fruit earlier in the episode? Yeah. I would be suspect
that together. That I bet the legend of Maggie is like, oh, she likes apples, better make her an apple pie.
Well, yeah, as a nice gesture. But I could also see, like, this might be coming from Gregory, who I just took the apple from earlier this episode.
Yeah.
Maybe I don't trust that apple pie.
Uh-huh.
Then again, they had this big, long scene about her being pregnant and just eating everything. And
also, Maggie's got apparently superhuman
bad.
Ability. Like, I think she'd smell the bleach in it if there was.
Right.
She smelled an apple pie through, like, a locked door, so.
Yeah.
Her magic pregnancy powers.
And then he mentions the hat homage to Glenn, which we kind of picked up on.
We didn't talk about this, but Norman Reedus, or Daryl, when he was busting out, he was also dressed. Someone did a split screen of it on Reddit, and like same checkered,
in
like
his Kurt Cobain outfit.
Yeah, he's like same checkered, like flannel shirt with the T-shirt and the hat. Like he was dressed exactly like season 1 Glenn.
Oh,
that's got to be an homage to not just to Stephen Yeun and as well as the actual character.
Yeah. Matt S. says, I've been holding back with feedback this season because I didn't want to sound like the guy calling a sports talk station after a 45-3 loss. Now that I've seen this half of the season as a whole, my response is, welp, and just a shrug. We are back on the farm looking for Sophia, the prison after the governor massacred his army, or hell, they even padded out the Hunter's Arc, too. This is what this show does. I should have suspected something in episode 1 when we had to wait a half hour to see who was killed last season. Maybe I'm in the minority because I'm a comic reader, so I know what is coming, and I'm constantly disappointed when we don't get there. These 90-minute episodes are just making it worse. I was waiting for Spencer's gutting last episode, and of course I didn't get it. They needed it for the finale.
Well, I mean...
I know you probably don't agree with this, because you, at the end of the live watch, were shocked at how much... They brought it around at the end.
But precisely because, like, I read the comic spoiler thread on Reddit, and there was a lot of people bitching and moaning about the pace, which I was oblivious to because it's been I lost a lot of the fine details, and I was impressed that they essentially, I mean, I don't want to talk about too much stuff in the non-spoiler section, but I just felt like they collapsed a lot of comic book material and advanced the plot a lot, like a shocking amount in this one episode.
Right.
Where you've got, like, they could pretty much tell, they could do a hurry up, 1 or 2 episodes to show everyone kind of binding together and then just fight the war and be done with this. But I don't think they will. I really do think next year, I don't know how they're going to do it, but they're going to fucking keep the stuff up in the air enough that they're going to put off the actual war with Negan till season 8. Like, when they all out, they go and go hammer and tongs. But I don't know. Like,
okay. Is this a little too spoilery for the main cast?
I don't think so, because they're, like, talking about fighting Negan. So
yeah, I mean, it's clear at the end that they are going to mount up.
Right.
Right. It's not, and it's going to be probably a slow mount. They're going to take their time getting up on that horse, but they're going to do it.
Right. Right.
So okay.
So I kind of was impressed by how much they got to the end and how much they hurried up towards the end there. But if you are a close reader of the comics, then you might have, like, I can't help but think that's what always annoyed me. And it was like all the constant remixes, and it would be one thing if they remixed it and, like, okay, well, that's better, or I can see that working better for television. But so many of those remixes I just thought were different for the sake of different and inferior to the actual things that happen in the comic books. getting enough distance has made a lot of those ejections go away. So
Okay.
that's one of the reasons I've stayed the hell away.
Right. Dan from Chicago says, they did it again. I was getting tired of all the bottle episodes and not looking forward to this episode at all. But then Daryl broke free. Maggie got her swag back. Michonne got wise of the extent of the threat. I'm thinking extant.
Yeah.
Halle Berry's bad TV show. And Rick got his "you're messing with the wrong people" pants on. I'm glad the two civilizations are connected again. I would have liked the kingdom to make contact, but now I'm geared up for the second half of the season.
That's common.
Yeah, right. They didn't make contact, but the seeds have been planted, right? Like, I can see Morgan saying, look, I'm not going to help, but I know people who might. And if anybody can convince Ezekiel to get in the game, it's probably Rick.
Sure.
I mean, look at he can just say, here's all the people we've lost already to this guy. And he doesn't stick with his agreements, all sorts of stuff.
Right.
So, yeah, I think they're sowing the seeds of discontent in all of these communities simultaneously, well enough for me to believe that at some point they're going to come together and maybe, band together to do what one of them couldn't do alone. He says, but by no means was this a perfect episode. Poor editing on Spencer being stabbed and Rosita shooting Lucille. Just poor, jumpy cuts. No drama to it. And why would every single one of Negan's henchmen not shoot Rosita immediately? Are they supposed to know she only had one round and it was okay to take the time to tackle her?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, I hadn't thought about that. Why did we check in with Carol and Morgan to learn nothing new? And I don't know the Kingdom soldier's name, so I certainly don't care about him crying in his camper. Why do Sasha and Enid argue about if Maggie can handle the secret of Jesus' mission only to have him show up with Daryl 20 minutes later? Yeah, that's, that's a fair point. Like, this seems like waste of time.
Yeah, but they also in a situation where Sasha should care about. Like, if Maggie doesn't care about a ripped uterus, Sasha should.
Right.
So, like, I didn't mind that. Like, that seems like hey, I'm just exploring my options, and I don't need to get Maggie all excited because she's supposed to be on bed rest. Like, that makes sense to me.
Okay. What was the trigger that convinced Rick that peace isn't an option? That was entirely unclear. I don't know that I agree with that.
Yeah, I think that just the capricious nature of justice and the fact that, like, you're just going to accept that one of your people are going to get the piss beaten out of them for no fucking reason
every other week,
like that shit. Yeah, like, you're going to like let some guy go blind because some guy decided he wanted to work someone over. That's the fatal error of Negan's ways. Like, it'd be one thing if it was just an academic or philosophical question about what it means to be free and are we free, and it's kind of like, a Boston Tea Harbor thing. It's like, But this was like, no, like standing up to tyranny and literal slavery and like just being treated like, garbage by these people.
Sure. I wouldn't want to live under that.
No.
He also wonders if any people at all live in the hilltop. I know the final scene was about getting our gang back together, but it would be nice if more than Jesus and one of the lookouts lived there. Pay for 8 extras. I'll do it for free. Says, keep up the good work. Please keep podcasting. I'd rather hear your thoughts after each episode than dive into the depths of Reddit or Twitter. I don't blame you. Aaron P. says, I'll start by saying I don't know what to call this person besides the boot guy. Cheesy as it is.
Should be the boot girl. Especially
right.
if it's an Oceansider.
Well, buckle up, buckle your boots, because here comes the theory.
Uh-oh.
The boot guy is the kingdom lieutenant who wants to go to war against the saviors. I think Richard.
Huh.
The way the boot guy was portrayed in this episode indicates some sort of Alexandria foe. Likely the owner of the houseboat seeking vengeance for the theft of all his belongings. However, I highly doubt that someone who went through all the trouble of situating himself in a zombie moat with several layers of signage warning people of their immediate death for trespassing would idly watch his livelihood be stolen. The lieutenant knows that the kingdom needs numbers to successfully fight the saviors. If the boot guy is him, his observations of Rick and Aaron probably tentatively confirm to him that others are also having to collect for the saviors, meaning there are more people out there who might be able to recruit. Checking out Alexandria is a reasonable next step to confirming that the saviors are holding other communities to a similar shitty deal. That said, Kirkman and Gimple love audience trolling. in addition to all the other reasons she mentioned. So I bet that they purposely set up the lieutenant's stalking of Rick and Aaron and the trespass into Alexandria as nefarious, even though it isn't.
The only thing I don't like about that is the way this is edited together. I'm pretty sure that Richard was talking to Carol and Morgan at the same time and I think that counts for something. I have no idea. Yeah, that counts for something. Like I don't think you can weave the storylines together. And I know it's something the Westworld is successfully able to do, but they did a whole lot of development of that concept. But I don't think you can play. Yeah, they do that too, and they're like, yeah, well, what are you going to do? It's like we're telling a story that's global and all over the world, and it's happening all kinds of different times, and
even within the same episode, like you'll have.
Boy, you got me wriggling in the the crushing grip of reason there, Jim. I don't know how I can excuse one and overlook the other.
But yeah, I don't know. I mean.
That's the only thing I don't like about it, though, is like I feel like the language of cinematography says that was happening simultaneously.
Right. Yeah, I guess. Do we see this guy's boots? Do we know if he's got those little inlays? I don't know if we've seen this. And plus, it's like his laces were braided around. Like, did you notice like his laces were like wrapped around several times before they're tied off with the boot? Boots are too big? Laces are too long?
Laces too long? Isn't that a thing?
What does that say?
Like, I thought there was like some type of boots are designed to do that, to give you more like high ankle support.
Probably, yeah.
But, I mean, they're very distinctive boots, so like, I feel like if I saw them again, they had some kind of leather flourish. But yeah, I don't know that I've ever seen Richard's boots that close.
Yeah, I certainly haven't noticed it.
But I don't like it because, again, it seemed like they were specifically saying these things are contemporaries of each other and no evidence that they weren't, so...
Okay. Josh F. in the final email says, you guys keep saying that Negan is going to punish Alexandrians for Daryl's actions, but we've yet to see it with this situation. I'm not saying you're wrong in that this is a general premise he's used for other situations within the group, but I'm just not seeing it here with Daryl now that he's taken Daryl for his own. So I don't think this is dry pie. I think he mentions, that he escaped. But he says, it seems like Negan no longer thinks of Daryl as being part of the Alexandria group and isn't trying to use his relationship or his other relationships to threaten Daryl into being subservient. Daryl is no longer a part of Rick's group, nor is he Rick's responsibility, unless Daryl did go back to Alexandria and they tried to hide him. To me, the only people getting punished for this will be Negan's men who let him escape. And what point would it make anyway to kill an Alexandrian because of someone who is no longer part of their group and not Rick's responsibility escaping Negan's compound? Prove what point? That his men are inept? Of course, this all seems to be a moot point now that they all seem to be rebelling against Negan anyhow. I imagine they won't even go back to Alexandria unless it's to get a better fortified position. I don't know that I agree with that last statement, but yeah, I mean, I guess so the guy escapes on his own volition, right? Like,
seems like
potentially with the help of the people inside your own compound.
Although someone pointed out
Jesus.
That's I'm saying we haven't talked about that. There is an outside chance that this was all engineered by Jesus,
but he wouldn't know that, right? He would assume.
And also,
my guys are idiots,
right? And also, Jesus didn't seem like when he came across Daryl that this is like all according to my plan. It's more like, oh my God, it's Daryl.
Now, if they go back to Alexandria and Negan shows up and Daryl just greets him with a smile at the gates, there's going to be hell to pay.
Right.
So they either have to hide Daryl or not go back to Alexandria.
But the whole point of killing someone in Alexandria is not, that Alexandria. It's the fact that Daryl was from Alexandria. He knew the stakes, and he got away scot-free, but I'm going to kill one of you. Because it's
so that if you imprison someone, they won't try to leave.
Yeah.
Because they know what's going to happen to their friends.
Yeah, I guess I completely disagree with the analysis that he can get away with letting that happen because without looking weak and without the whole system crashing down. Mm-hmm. So
then again, this is a man who doesn't kill the person who tried to kill him. Right. So I don't know what his rationales are.
Yeah.
But that's it for emails.
Okay. Well, I have like a little bit of spoiler stuff to talk about.
Okay, I have like one or two things. One which actually makes a lot of sense and is pretty interesting.
But our contact info, if you want to send feedback, is watchingdead@baldmove.com or on the forums.baldmove.com if you just want to shoot the shit with your fellow fans.
Yeah. We will be back, like we said, on Friday for a wrap-up, a season mid-season wrap-up cast.
Yep.
So if you want to get your feedback in, send it in before Friday morning, because that's when it's all happening. And, you know, we'll consider our coverage of The Walking Dead over the next 3 months or so and see what we want to continue to do for this show. Now that Aaron is super psyched again for the next season, now they've roped him back in, and we'll let you know. Let you know how it goes. And until next week, I'm Jim.
I'm Aaron. See ya.
And we're back with the spoiler section. I have 2 emails. Is there anything you desperately wanted to talk about before we get to them?
Yeah, I like to kind of like take point here a little bit. I mean, so the reason I'm kind of at a hopeful place is because my recollection is you had the, introduction to Negan where Glenn got his brains beat out. And then you had this long interim period. And then you had, I think it was called the March to War, which was where the communities all got together and decided they were going to do this, and you had All Out War, which signified the actual open rebellion. And there's a lot of cool things in between there, and then during the war that I thought was really cool. But the reason I'm in a hopeful place is because I guess my recollection was that this pre-war period lasted a lot longer, even in the comics.
Gotcha.
So for them to go like gut Spencer and have like in the comics, Maggie is Andrea is the one that went to Rick and's like, what the fuck? How can we continue to let this happen? And Rick unveils that like, look, and that's the thing I guess I don't like, or I'm struggling to put into context for my memories, because in the show it seems like Rick completely bought into Negan's system.
Yeah.
And everyone else convinced him. Where in the comics, Rick only did that because he thought that if he let on for a minute that he was planning for resistance, it would get more people killed. And until he had everything figured out, that he wanted to keep that all in kind of close to his vest. So it's kind of like Rick in the TV show is like, I now know that this is intolerable and I can't put up with it, versus the comic book where you find out that I've always known. I've been waiting for my moment. Yeah, and I don't know about that.
That's interesting. So in the comic, I feel like the focus is more on Rick as the central figure in this whole thing, whereas in the show, maybe it's more of a sense of community. Maybe that's the idea they're going for. They know they're not going to have Andrew Lincoln forever. They know that Rick can't be the only thing that you latch onto as a viewer.
Right.
We need the community to bring him around on this.
I mean, I guess that's what I'm afraid of, is I feel like if they wanted to have an excuse, they could drag out this next half season, and then season 8 is the all-out war, and then they flash forward a few years, in which case they can recast.
Right.
Rick can be killed off. Daryl can be killed off. They recast Rick. They recast Carl, or give Chandler Riggs a Godfather offer to come back and reprise his role. And then they keep telling, and they rebuild around, the likes of Eugene and Maggie, and I don't even know if Lauren Graham is available, or what Denai Guerrera has got going on in the rest of her life. Like how many of these people can they keep, and how many people can they, take and rebuild? Because post All Out War, like Negan's a big deal. Like he still continues to be a figure. But yeah, Dwight continues to be a big deal. They introduced these Whisperers, which that's the other thing, is I'm wondering if these boots are not supposed to be the Whisperers. Because I thought one of their deals was that they actually infiltrate some of these large communities and take advantage of the fact that not everyone really knows everybody.
Okay.
But I could be wrong about that, because I stopped reading around that time.
Yeah. I mean, there could be Whisperers in Alexandria for all I know. I don't know half the Alexandrians.
Right. So I don't know, because the other thing is that could be Oceanside, because clearly you've got a situation where, Rick and the Hilltop have got badasses, but no weaponry. The Hilltop is just ready to go, and then you've got Oceanside that could provide the arms for these guys that are willing to fight. And like that all together could maybe take Negan's place, but with the element of surprise. But yeah, I don't know. Also, in the comics, like Eugene doesn't get like Eugene makes that's so in the comics everyone's out of bullets, so everyone's kind of gone back to spears and bow and arrows and things like that, right? And then Eugene figures out how to make ammunition, and that's like a huge advantage for Alexandria. And then I think Negan eventually takes him prisoner, but
he does. I mean, Matt S says that Eugene apparently famously quips like, "I'm not going to make ammo for you, no matter how many genitals you sever." Which, okay, sure,
right.
Pretty good.
Well, there's this really cool scene where the saviors use bow and arrows and like spears have been dipped in zombie guts.
Yeah.
To do this, what looks like an ineffectual attack on Alexander, where like some people get arrows and some people get nicked up, and but like they're repelled, and the doctor tends to their wounds, and then a bunch of people turn into zombies and go on a little mini rampage.
That's awesome. Yeah,
but it's why would it happen? Or
it could be reversed.
That's
they
the
could
thing,
do it
but
to
like
Negan.
That is like watching good guys use chemical weapons. Yeah, like that's something you expect an evil person would do. But
it's like watching good guys use chemical weapons against the bad guys,
which is still
is that okay?
Well, I mean, it's The Walking Dead, so like they can definitely do it, but I'm just saying like it does feel like the good guys are stooping to the bad guys' level.
It's all out war.
Which again, it's all out war and it's The Walking Dead. So I wouldn't be mad. It's a weird remix to do.
Right. And it's kind of one of the eternal questions of The Walking Dead, specifically when it comes to like Carol and Morgan at this point, right? Richard is essentially asking them to do that, to preemptively strike.
Yeah, preemptive war. Yeah. Based on what your worst fear of what could happen, which is not a great way to govern in general.
Sure. We have a pretty interesting email from Sandy A, who wants to comment about this key card that we found, or that Tara found.
The triple P.
Yeah, the triple P. She says
Pizza Palace.
Pizza Palace is actually a term used in music for whispering or playing very softly.
Oh, shit.
It's like pianissimo, I think is the term for it. Are we going to see Heath at a later date with the Whisperers? That's interesting. So might they be slowly introducing the concept of the Whisperers?
Could be. In which case, it's probably one of the more successful slow burns the show's ever done.
Yeah. It's certainly made people wonder and question.
Could Heath, because that's the other thing, is Heath's kind of recent nihilism, maybe that is like you're going to reintroduce to Heath later and he's a Whisperer now, because that seems like that's like the Whisperers are one of those communities that take the lessons of the zombie apocalypse to its logical conclusion, where they're not what you would call a recognizable human community. They're like the Terminus, like they fundamentally changed the nature of how they see themselves as humans and the other survivors in it. So like I guess that would be interesting that Heath would become like, we never saw Alexander, one of Rick's groups, like talk to the wolves and be like, hey man, you're onto something,
right?
I don't know that Heath's a strong enough character to a lot of people give a shit about that, but that's something interesting they could do.
Yeah, and then reintegrating him into Alexandria would be a good way to get a Whisperer in the gates.
Yeah, true.
Like a stealth Whisperer, even for the audience. Maybe.
Were Heath's boots tied fancy? Did anybody know?
I didn't see his boots. No. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, are the Whisperers music fans? Is that what's going on here? Why the PPP? Is this going to be the symbol of the Whisperers?
I mean, that could be like
somebody just knew that from before the world went to shit.
Yeah.
It was like, hey guys, it'd be cool if we did this.
Right.
Okay. Maybe so. That's all I've got.
Okay.
Spoilers.
No, I was trying to think of a clever way, because like I remember when we started Bald Move before we got big, like back when we were just doing a Blue Yonder, we had a lot of like sitting around in my living room joking about like what we would do if we got famous, and like all the fucking weird lies we'd tell about inside jokes and like
the name of the company.
Yeah, and the name of the company and how we derived it and like how much fun that would be. And I'm like, I guess like to the extent that happens, maybe the Whisperers got like that too. It's like, hey, let's just drop PPN because it stands for pianissimo or whatever, and that's like Whisper, which is what we do. And
right,
yeah, maybe they're that up their own ass.
And if you ever ask them about it, it's like, no, that's the Pizza Palace.
Yeah, that's Pizza Palace.
That's where we're headquartered.
One of us used to drive a delivery truck for Pizza Palace. What?
Yeah. Awesome. All right, well, I think that's going to do it.
Pete's penis packing. Pete's packing a penis. Yeah, I don't know. I was trying to think of what other it could stand for. But it's always Pete. Pete's always in a mix.
Yeah, Pete and Pete, perfection.
Pete, triple Pete, perfection.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, yeah. So I guess we'll be back Friday for the wrap up, and also I started a little thread on the forum because I kind of wanted to see if everybody else was feeling me on maybe what they would do in the future, and I started a season 7B comic spoilers speculation thread. So
okay,
jump up on there if you got any ideas because I'd like to farm that maybe for some content on Friday.
Cool. All right. Well, we'll see you guys then.
See ya.